Hey everyone, it's Colleen. And before we get into today's episode, Taylor and I really wanted to take a second to thank everyone for their support of this podcast. We just did our first live show and we would not have been able to do it without the support of everyone. We were so nervous. So thank you to everybody that came out to see us. Thank you to Kylie for sharing your story on stage. Thank you to Samantha for just making us feel really cool and special the whole night, even though we were extremely awkward. And then a very special thank you to the one and only Norman. And Norman, don't you dare cut this because we would not be able to do this podcast without him. Working all of the magic he does to make us sound so much better. So truly, we do appreciate everybody that supports us and just thank you guys so much. So let's get into today's episode.
Welcome back to I've Got Something to Tell You with Taylor and
Colleen.
So this is our first episode back after our live show.
I know.
So should we recap it and relive it?
Yes.
For the people that weren't there. Because even if you listened to it, it was still a whole experience.
Yeah.
There.
It was a great experience.
It was really fun. We had our little table set up and everyone's sitting around us. I feel like I didn't really look up too much, so I'm glad we had video footage. Well, I mean the videos of us, but I feel like I could look up at myself. But you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it was so fun.
It was really, so I think we talked about it before the recording came out, but we did a live show at this local place, Jared's. We've done spirit boxes and stuff there on other episodes of the podcast, but it's this really cool, really supportive, it feels like, energy in there. He has different artists hanging their wall, their art on the walls. There are people that sell jewelry and they have
tons of events.
Yeah. Of people coming and doing music and comedy and stuff. So it's just got this great safe
vibe.
Space energy.
I totally agree because it was so weird. I kept getting between nervous and excited all week. And as soon as I walked in, I felt really settled. And I was like, oh, I love the vibe in here. And I told him that. I'm like, it's so chill and it's so welcoming.
Yeah.
So I think that helps a lot. The support. I think he definitely hyped us up too, Jared, the owner. Yeah. He's so nice.
He was amazing. And our friends and family came out. No, it was really fun because I think we've talked about I know that's a big fear for you is public speaking. So that's just huge because everybody that talked to me afterwards, I mean, I know you were nervous because we were texting, but you did so good. And everybody
too.
I know I made some,
you're I know I did.
No, I was going to say, I know I made some fumbles and I was very nervous, but thank you. But you did really, really good. And you should be I know we've already talked about it. You should be really proud because I know public speaking was a huge fear for you.
Yeah, it definitely is. And I just feel it's something that's kind of built up throughout the years. And actually hypnotherapy helped a lot with that. So I was really excited. And I texted my friend, the other Tayler, who was my hypnotherapist. And I was like, it's so crazy to just see the difference. You know what I mean? Oh yeah. So there's one other thing I wanted to bring up. I was texting you about. It's not scary.
Okay.
So remember when you were saying I was more, the word was extroverted. And I was trying to think of a way. I'm no, but I couldn't think of the name of it or how to describe it. But I was I feel you are too, but in a different way. And that's why we make such a good team. So this is how Colleen is.
Oh gosh, no.
No, it's a good thing. Okay. I wish I was like this. But so the day that we were going to go to Jared's for the spirit box, we really wanted to go. I'm can you call them? You're yeah. She just gets on the phone and is hey, can we do a spirit box session? And then we get there. I'm it'd be really cool if we could interview someone that works here. I'm can you ask? She's yeah. What's the big deal? I feel you're always down to do that stuff. You don't think twice about it, but I feel for other people, I don't want to do it. Does that make sense?
It does. I think with me, for me, it's easier to advocate for somebody else than
than for yourself.
Than for myself.
Oh.
So like when somebody wants something, like, and I think that this is like something I see with like I don't know, I like my friends and like my family are like my everything, you know what I mean? So like when you ask me to go do something, I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go do it because Tayler wants this. Aww. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know if I don't know what that is, but like
it's like zero hesitation. You're like, yeah.
Tayler needs this done. I will make it happen.
Like Taylor's probably not going to do it, so I need to step up.
No,
I'm just kidding. Aw, I love that though. I didn't know that.
Yeah, like I feel like that way when I like with work and stuff, like if somebody needed something, I'm like, yeah, I'll just go ask like the CEO, and they're like, you're just gonna ask. I'm like,
whoa,
well, because you asked me to do it. Aww, you know what I mean? Like, well, then I can just blame
a lot about you too.
Well, sometimes it's like, well, then I'll just blame you if it goes wrong. Like, just kidding.
I mean, you gotta have your own back too.
Yeah. Always gotta have an alibi.
But I was like, because I remember you saying that. I was like, I don't know an example, but I'm like, okay, I know what it is. That's what it is. And so we make a really good team. We already knew that, but yeah, because I was laughing because she was like, you have a really, or I don't remember how you said it about my vision board. We always joke about it because I'm all about the vision boards. Mm-hmm. And she was like, your vision board brought this to life. I was like, yeah. And then also you like asking, like setting everything up. Which I'm not shitting on the vision boards. No. They're legit. But in this scenario, Colleen did set it up for us.
I'll take a different stance. I don't really believe in vision boards, not like knocking people who, you know, my thing too is like you do whatever is like working for you. You know what I mean? Like as long as it's healthy, obviously. But like vision boards, I don't feel like work for me. Like they just, I don't know. Like, again, it's not being negative, but like they work for some people and they like Tayler's is powerful. So
well, I feel like they've always worked for me, but I think the misconception is like you put it on your board and it just happens.
And it just like, happens.
No,
yeah.
You need to do like action steps. You need to take steps towards it. And I think it is a lot to do with positive thinking and being like, I can do this. Yeah. Or, you know what I mean? So I think that's kind of how it works. But yeah, there's some people that are like, it hasn't happened yet. Why?
I just like calling Tayler and ranting about the thing that I want to do. And then
and then I send her screenshots of what I'm putting on my vision board.
And then she makes it happen for me.
Except it's you. But anyway, we thought it was funny. Yeah. So
but yeah, it was a good night. And then we went out after, got some bomb ass pizza. So good. Yeah, we got pizza and beer and celebrated and then went home and slept really well. And it was really fun. And we're going to do more live shows, more details to come on that because we don't have them quite yet. Yeah. But keep listening or follow us on social media. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so again, thank you to the people that did come out and, you know, saw us live. Hopefully, you know, also the people that obviously are not in Arizona can listen. They can listen to the recording and everything like that. But yeah. And we will get clips of the video out there soon. Yes. Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah. Super exciting stuff. And we have some more exciting stuff to do right now. Yeah. It's still, well, it's spooky season all year round for us, but it's like official spooky season now. So we have some more good stories for everybody. You want to say what we're covering today? Yeah. So if you listen to the live show, we did a combo story and we've been really enjoying doing those. And so today we are going to cover the Salem Witch Trials. Heck yeah, because we were definitely burned at the stake together. So this is a very special one. Well, common misconception that the Salem Witch Trials did not actually have any burning at the stakes. Oh. So that's a European thing. Oh. So burning at the stake is a European thing? We hung people. Well, we don't know if maybe we were European witches. That's what I'm saying. Like, we're definitely international. Yeah, I agree. But yeah, so you ready to get into it? I am. All right. Well, Tayler, I've got something to tell you. This all kicks off in Salem Village, Massachusetts, and it's important that it is not Salem Town because Salem Village is tiny. It's super religious, like farming community. It's built off families who have been there for generations. So there's a lot of like people we know this story. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's in everybody's small town standard. So, but they know everybody's business and they have strong opinions on their business. Then only a few miles down the road, you've got Salem Town, which is a totally different vibe. It's more of like a port city. So it's got like merchants coming in and like boats and stuff. So it's really like thriving and like larger, a little bit more international potentially. So kind of like more Salem Village is like, think of buckled hats, you know, that kind of thing. Salem Town, maybe they got a backwards cap going or something. A little bit more modern.
A little more edge.
Yeah. So Salem Town is busy, loud, merchants everywhere. There's money, there's trade, there's movement. So right off the bat, though, you've got tension between these two places because the town thinks the village people are uptight and like self-righteous and obsessed with being judgy. And the village thinks the town is greedy and filled with sin because they're living a little bit more like a modern lifestyle. So village is like, the town, you guys care more about money and like worldly possessions than God. And the town's like, just let us live our lives. Like, bug off. So, but now on top of this, the village wants independence because they both live under the same jurisdiction. And so the village doesn't have their own church or minister, and they have to go into the town, which the more the town is growing, the more the village is campaigning for their own minister and church. They're like, we're over this shit. Like, we want our stuff. We want to stay tiny. We don't want to be like,
we want to be separated.
Yeah.
Or secluded, whatever.
Okay. So yes, exactly. And so the village finally gets it. And as their first like separated minister, they get this guy, Reverend Samuel Parris. And Parris is a lot. Before he gets the job, he is actually a merchant in Barbados. He did a tropical trade route and then he decides to switch careers and become a minister, which like everybody has their own journey. So, you know, very interesting. Which I thought that this would give him like a good perspective of like both the village and the town, like the merchant style, like, you know, and then the holy beliefs, but it doesn't. So he rolls into Salem and he's acting like he's like the CEO of God because he starts making demands. He wants a huge salary. He wants free perks village. I'm going to interchange village and town, but just know when I'm talking about him, I'm talking about the village.
Okay.
So he wants a huge salary. He wants free perks from the village. But like in this case, it's just like free firewood. Like
they're like, that's all we got, man.
Yeah, we're in like we're in the 1600s. Like it's like,
what else do you want?
Hay and firewood. That's what we got. But the biggest one is he wants ownership of the parsonage. And this is like the minister's house that would technically belong to the town because like what happens is like priests and ministers and all of that, they technically can go to different like churches, but there's always like a dedicated home for whatever like holy leader is there. But he's like, no, you guys don't own this. I want to own this.
Oh,
so like
greedy.
So he's asking for money, land, and perks, and he's making all these demands. However, he's preaching about living a very humble, godly life. So it's like these weird dichotomy between his two things. So naturally, that doesn't sit well with a lot of people. So this village kind of like splits into camps around Paris. And I'm going to break this into the 3 Ps because I had to keep this all straight. There are a lot of names in this story. Normally,
I'm glad you're going first because I saw one of the Ps. I was like, I don't want to say that.
Normally I'm like, if I can get the main guy down, I'm good for the story. This one I have to remember. Okay. And they all kind of sound the same too. So anyway, so this is the 3 P's. First P we already know is Paris. So the demands, he's making those demands. And then on top of that, he's kind of like stirring the pot and freaking people out. His sermons are all about the devil and how the devil is among us at all times, testing you and your faith. That Satan is like there at all, like it could be your friend, it could be your family member, it could be anything in your life, but Satan is here all the time.
I still hear people talk like that sometimes, and it creeps me out.
No, I know. It's like, Satan's like, why are you so obsessed with me?
I know. He's like, that's not me. It's just life.
But yeah, so Paris is like he's really fear-mongering people too. And then our second P is like eating this up, and that is the Putnams. The Putnams are basically, I said like the Kardashians of Salem Village because I couldn't think of like a good way to describe them, but like they are very influential. They have land, power, influence, but they are super fans of God. So they love this guy Paris. Like they think that with this like strict preaching, it's going to like shut down the people that are like leaning towards like the town's way of life and really keep this like more simplified, super religious way of living. And now our third P is the porters, and they are old money, but they come from merchants. So they're more like team town because they can see opportunity for growth and actually growing the village. They look at Paris and think he is full of shit. First, he comes asking for money, and then this like constant damning of anyone else who wants to be more like entrepreneur. I can't say this word. I can't.
Entrepreneurial.
Yeah, see? Anybody who's like,
cut it out.
Keep it in. So anybody that's like looking to be living like more to like gain more, he's like damning them, saying that they're being greedy. But
as he's taking over the entire town.
Yeah, but then he's like, well, give me your money.
He's like, you greedy bastard.
Yeah. So the porters believe that the church should be more about community, and not this like constant damnation and like making everybody scared of the devil.
Yeah.
Okay, so by the time 1692 rolls around, this town is a freaking mess. It's divided, it is paranoid, and everyone is looking for something or someone to blame for this chaos. And so you're like Team Porter or Team Putnam. But that's when something strange starts happening inside Salem's very own Reverend Paris's house. So in Paris's house, he lives with his 9-year-old daughter, Betty Paris, and his 11-year-old niece, Abigail Williams. Abigail's
your face after you do this.
It's like, how did the word not get from the page to my brain? Like, I can read it.
It's just not coming out. It's her spirit coming through being like, I went by Abby.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
I'm just kidding. You
Listen,
said Abigail's.
Does she prefer Abby? I didn't see that.
No, I just made that up.
Oh, okay. Well, no disrespect if you did. Please. Because these old girls are creepy as fuck. So, and I'm talking about her being orphaned right now, so this isn't even funny. Both her parents died.
Oh no. Damn.
So that's why she was living with her uncle and Betty. So, my gosh. Okay, so she moved in with the Parises, and she would keep Betty company all like as well as help around the house. So, sorry, Abigail. Got a difficult name and a difficult life.
Sure did.
So
sounds like it's about to get worse.
It's gonna get so much worse. So now this is the Reverend's house. So this is the holiest house in the whole freaking town. But in my opinion, even though this stuff that's starting off is going to seem small, it is creepy as fuck because it's happening in the freaking Reverend's house.
Ew,
so
yeah.
this was not fun. This part was not fun for me to research. I was like, this is why Tayler does this part of the story. Okay, sorry. Betty Paris starts acting kind of like off first. She starts going into these moments of like total silence, and she's staring at like a wall or into the air, like directly.
Concerning.
Yes, very concerning. So she'll like stare off into the air, like she's looking at something no one else can see, and she goes like absolutely quiet while she's doing it. These become so frequent that when they happen, Abigail's like, knock it off. And
she's like, what are you looking at?
Yeah.
Betty.
Knock it off.
Wait, is Betty the orphan or Abigail the orphan?
Abigail's the orphan.
Oh, okay.
Betty is
the daughter.
Yes. And so she's also the younger one, which I feel like is equally adds to the creepiness.
Yeah.
So Abigail Abigail starts getting freaked out by Betty, and she wants to immediately start snapping at her out of these like weird trances. And so she'll just like shake Betty, hoping to break whatever has a hold on her.
Mm-hmm.
But then these start happening to Abigail too.
Weird.
Yeah. So it keeps going, and people begin to notice. Like, again, this is the Reverend in a super holy town, so everybody's got eyes on this family.
Mm-hmm.
And so like they notice that these girls are starting to act strange. And then the girls start getting weirder. The staring turns into whispering under their breath. They start talking about dark dreams. Betty says that there's a dark figure that visits her at the end of her bed at night and whispers to her or just watches her.
Ooh.
Abigail says something sits on her chest at night so she can't breathe, which kind of...
sleep paralysis.
Yeah, that's what it sounded like to me too. But she says it's something else. So
let me guess, the devil.
Yep. Spoiler. So they both are talking about shadows that they can see when the fire is low. They say that they can see faces in the coals that vanish when like a candle flickers. So like they are, but I feel like they're leaning into the devil stuff a little bit too. Cause like Reverend loves devil shit. He's like, see, I told you, it's everywhere.
If I say it enough, there'll be evidence.
Yep. So this is escalating more and more. And one afternoon, the family is home sitting by the fire. Betty is sewing and goes into one of these trances, but it's like anything that has happened before. Betty's in the middle of sewing, and mid-stitch, she drops her needle, staring blankly, and she begins to scream. And it is a guttural scream, like not a sound that should ever come from a 9-year-old little girl.
Ew. Mm-hmm. Don't like that.
Abigail runs over to try and snap Betty out of it, but both girls fall to the ground, thrashing on the floor like someone is stabbing them.
Whoa.
Then they start crawling.
Where?
Everywhere.
That's such a weird thing to picture.
I know. This is the part, I'm not joking. It literally made me feel like a little bit queasy because I was just like, a little girl crawling, like, screaming too.
Screaming while crawling.
Yeah. It doesn't sound like a tantrum. It sounds terrifying.
Yeah.
So they are crawling, and they're crawling around on the ground, hiding and like screaming that something is chasing them.
Ew.
Paris is the only thing that he can think to do to help his girls. And he says, we need to pray. So he tries to get them to pray with him. But anytime he starts the prayer, the girls choke or laugh. Like the words won't come out of them.
Weird.
They try the Lord's Prayer, the Our Father prayer. I had to look that up. But they can't get through it. The girls will seize up or start yelling the words back, like wrong at him. Like almost like making fun of the prayer.
Like mocking him?
Mm-hmm. It is terrifying.
That is very scary.
At one point, one of the girls grabs the Bible and throws it across the room as if she's physically rejecting it.
Dang.
Gross.
Yeah.
Again, this is what... I like when you do these ones.
I kind of like when you do them.
Okay, so now the second P is the Putnams. So we're going to go back to them just a little bit. And they are Paris's people, super devout, always the first to show up when something looks spiritual. So the minute that they get that word gets out that the minister's little girl is screaming and won't stop, Ann Putnam is at the door, like, you called. And she brings her 12-year-old daughter, Ann Putnam Jr. And so they go in, and it is chaos inside. Anne Sr. drops to the floor beside the girls, hands raised, begging God to cast out whatever evil has taken hold of them. And then something happens, and little Anne Jr. gasps as if her body is jerked around and has been shocked. Her mother grabs her shoulders, and the girl starts trembling all over, her eyes rolling back back into her head.
I'd be like, bye.
Yeah. I was like, okay, we got 3 now. Get me out of here. The little girl, little Anne, lets out a sharp cry. She's clutching her neck, saying that she's being pinched and that someone is behind her. Within hours, she's falling into the same fits as Betty and Abigail, screaming. She's contorting and pointing at invisible things, saying that she's being chased. Oh, something's going on with little girls in Salem.
Yeah.
As if that is not terrifying enough, the Putnams' servant, Mercy Lewis, who came with them to help, starts to shake too. She drops to her knees, muttering prayers and then laughing, like she's not in control of her own voice. So now there are 4 girls twisting and shouting in the Reverend's house. Twist and shout.
Twist and shout.
It's the demon version of it. So Reverend Paris sends for the village doctor, William Griggs, who checks Betty and Abigail's eyes and also Mercy and little Anne. And he looks at their pulses, looks at their, checks them out the best that a 1600 doctor can. So he gets nothing from it. And so he says that there's no natural cause to what's going on with the girls, which is the worst possible diagnosis he could give because everybody's like...
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah. So everyone is like, Paris was right. The devil is in Salem Village, and this is the work of witchcraft. Seems like a far jump to me, but remember, Paris is has been pushing down their throats.
And in that time period, religion is kind of like
that
everything. Yeah.
So they jump to witchcraft real fast. Meanwhile, the Porters, third P, is Team Town, not a fan of Paris, and they're rolling their eyes. They're like, everybody calm down. This is he's been planting the seed in your head, chill.
Yeah.
But then comes in another friendly neighbor. So what I'm imagining is it gets around town real fast. And then everybody's like, well, let me try and come up with one way or not to help. Porters are over here just you idiots. But now comes Mary Sibley with her own bright idea of how to help the girls. And because this is 1692, there's still slavery. So Mary grabs Paris's enslaved woman to Tuba to try something that might reveal who's behind the bewitching of the girls. So, sorry. Hopefully, following, everything's making sense. Okay. Like I said, this is a lot of information. So Mary tells Tituba that they should do a witch cake. And a witch cake is a mix of rye meal with something that would be a part of the girls, and it is urine.
Oh.
Yeah. Sorry, gross, but that is, yeah. So they have to bake this cake and then feed it to a dog. And the idea is that the witch who cursed the girls will feel pain when the dog eats it because it's they're eating up. The girls are okay. The girls are now inhabited somewhat by the witch. So in order to get the witch to feel pain, they have to take something from the girls that now has a little bit of part of the witch. So they're feeding, I don't know why urine. I feel like hair.
Yeah, you could do hair.
And the poor dog.
It's a dog.
He's like, I thought I got it.
He's like, you baked me a cake.
Oh my God. And he's like, wait a second.
weird.
What flavor is this?
Poor guy. That's the smell terrible. Ew.
Yeah. So then the idea is that the dog eats it. It's eating part of the girls, which also is inhabiting the witch. I probably over-explained that, but I found that interesting.
It is. And disturbing.
Yes. So that's how they're going to hunt down this witch. So Tituba is like, great plan, Mary, and she bakes the cake. It does not help. The dog is pissed.
Yeah. Not what I ordered.
Yeah. And then Reverend Paris finds out about Tituba doing this, and he loses it because to him, that's witchcraft too. So she's
like, the fuck, man? She
yeah.
told me to do it.
Mary said. So he's like, that's basically using dark magic to fight dark magic, which now just further convinces him that there are witches in the town. And that, again, he was right the whole time. So kind of a win for him.
He's like, see?
Yup. How'd you just come up with this? So even though that the cake does not technically work. And the 4 girls get worse, and they start saying that they can see faces in the shadow figures that they've like been claiming.
Mm-hmm.
And they throw out 3 names. They say Tituba, which I was like, the betrayal.
I know. They set her up.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then they also named Sarah Good and Sarah Osborne. So all of the things that these women have in common is that they're kind of like on the outskirts of the society. Like Tituba is an enslaved woman, so she's an outsider, unfortunately, in every way in this society.
Yeah.
And then Sarah Good is poor. She's unhomed, and she apparently has quite a bit of a mouth on her. But I just imagine that she just speaks like, and in that time they're just like
this woman.
Yeah. But she's also pregnant. And then Sarah Osborne, she is like kind of like phasing out of the church. So strike 1 against her. But then big thing is she's in a land dispute with the Putnams.
Mm-hmm.
And so they're pissed off at her. Putnams and Paris are all in this together. So just weird that they chose 3 people that like, I don't know.
But they were like the safe options.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So warrants are written, and all 3 women are immediately marched to the meeting house, which is, so they're going to be examined by the magistrates, John Hawthorne and Jonathan Corwin. And then ministers also hear about this like whole thing from a different surrounding areas. So they start to drift in, coming in to help advise. So they got a whole lot of just like men with not a lot of rules and a lot of opinions coming in to determine these women's fate. And so inside the meeting house, it's packed. Everybody's heard about what's going on with these girls, and now the arrests, and nobody wants to miss out on what's happening. So Sarah Good goes first. She goes up to try, or she goes to be examined first because they're not on trial yet. This is just an examination, which is also really important. This is like the test.
Mm-hmm.
So Sarah Good goes first, and she denies everything, saying that like she's not a witch. She denies it, like basically pleads not guilty.
Mm-hmm.
But the moment that Betty, Abigail, Mercy, and Anne see her, they go into full-on fits, clutching their throats, shrieking that Sarah is pinching them. And if Sarah even moves her hand a little bit, they start convulsing harder, saying that, like, look, she's being a witch right now. She's doing this to us.
I just imagine them convulsing. They're like, see?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
She's like, my nose itched. Like, I don't know. Imagine if she sneezed or something.
They're like,
yeah.
Just melt.
So the magistrates tell Sarah to look away from the girls, and immediately the girls calm down.
Of course.
And this is considered proof. Sure. Then Sarah Osborne is next. She also pleads that she is not a witch and denies everything. The girls collapse, claiming that Osborne's specter sits on their chests and they can't breathe. Evidence, like clearly. And then to Tuba. So it's said that she probably got the worst of it, but that I couldn't find anything like super concrete on this, but I heard it in a few different like books and stuff, is that she probably was beaten really badly before because she was an enslaved person. And so she is like, they definitely think she was coerced into admitting, but she says that at first she says no, she didn't do this, but then she pivots and gives them the story they've been wanting. Yeah. She says that there's a tall man in black and that he's the devil, and he came to her, that he made her sign his book, and that there are also animals that serve him. So she mentions a dog, a pig, and a yellow bird. And that he came to her, and yes, that she was a witch and that she was cursing the girls. But this is the line that changes everything. She says there are others in Salem working with him. So that changes the game. The second she says there's others, it is over. This is not a singular witch anymore. It is a network of witches. And just going right back into what Paris was saying the whole time, anyone could be in on it. And so all three women are sent to jail to await trial. And the village just collectively loses its mind. They're everywhere.
The witch hunt.
Exactly. So within days, new accusations start rolling in. And what's wild is the girls are the ones driving this now. This was also a really interesting thing is a lot of historical witch hunts are led by men. And this was led by little girls. All the girls that made accusations were between 9 years old to 20 years old.
That's wild.
Yeah. Progressive for them. Just kidding.
Except screw them.
Yeah. Okay, so so the girls are driving this. Betty says that she's still recovering, so she goes to chill, but Abigail, Anne, and Mercy go full force mean girls of damnation, and they are naming names left and right. Their biggest new target is Martha Corey. She's a church member, super devout, and skeptical about the girl's story. She literally says that
she's a witch.
Yep, witch. She's a witch. She says that maybe the girls are pretending, and that's literally all it takes. Boom, she's accused.
And they believe them.
Boom, ya witch. Then they go after Rebecca Nurse. This one is what kind of shakes people, and I'm going to talk about her again, but Rebecca is beloved, and she is 71 years old. She is kind, generous, everybody. She's a very loved member of the community. But the Putnams have land beef with her and her family. So boom, ya witch. Those are just to name a few, but they are racking up names so fast. They're actually starting to have to turn put people the accused in surrounding towns. So they use Salem Town, Ipswich, and Boston. And now those jails are starting to get filled up with all of these so-called witches. And these jails are brutal. They're disgusting. There are rats. There's no heat. And they had just gotten out of one of the worst winters in the history of the area. So it's freezing. People are getting sick, and they're getting sick probably on each other. Yeah. People are chained up. They're starving. You also have to pay for your own food while in prison during this time. So
how do you make money?
Exactly. It's all
you can't afford it.
It's bad, real bad. Yeah. So everybody's waiting for trial, but they also know we're just going to be found guilty.
Yeah.
But now they decide that they need a better system for all of these accusations. So they get the government involved. Governor Phipps, or Phipes, Phips. Anyway, so he sets up a special court just for these little girls to have whoever they want to bully next. And it is called the Court of Oyer and Terminer, which sounds fancy, but it means to hear and determine. They also start accepting that spectral evidence is all you need in order to examine like somebody. So you can just accuse somebody of basically like, Tayler appeared in my dream and she threatened me. Mm-hmm. Boom, Taylor's a witch.
I love that. I am a witch.
So now that, like, yeah, now the court can take, I saw your ghost in my dream, like, basically is hard evidence. That's like, the girls don't even have to throw themselves on the floor anymore and like do all this whole acting, which I'm sure they were getting exhausted.
Wait, but imagine like if there's like drama in the town and they start hearing that's all you need. And they're like, I saw Becky in my dream.
No, that's bitch. What, yeah, literally that's what happens is like, it just becomes even easier now because like, they don't have to do the whole thing. They don't have to like go in and be like, oh my God, she moved her finger. Like
there's nobody left in town.
Yeah. Girl, we get into it. Yeah. So it becomes case closed on anybody that pisses off little girls between the age of 9 to 20. So the first headline out of this brand new court that Phipps put into place is Bridget Bishop. And Bridget runs a tavern. She's also apparently got a mouth on her. Which
got another one.
Yeah. I mean, she runs a tavern. I'm sure she's just sick of drunk guys talking to her. And apparently she wears a red bodice, which I was like, the shame. So she's also the perfect, like, person to pick because they want to prove that this new court, like, can churn and burn these cases. And there's already been talks about Bridget being a witch. So it's just like, there's no better like setup for her. So she goes on trial and the jury does not take long. And on June 10th, 1692, Bridget Bishop is hung. She is the first execution of a witch in Salem, accused witch in Salem. After Bridget, now they've shown, hey, we got one. We really did. And so after Bridget, the court doesn't slow down. So now once they proved that they could hang a witch, they're like, well, we should probably get all of them.
Hang them all.
Yeah. So they start racking them up real fast. So by mid-July, though, they bring a case that had rattled the village, though Rebecca Nurse, the 71-year-old kind woman that people trusted, they bring her case in, and the jury actually returns not guilty at first. And then the afflicted girls collapse again. The magistrates send the jury back, and the verdict flips. So the Putnams really had it out for her. On July 19th, 1692, Rebecca is hung alongside Sarah Good and 3 others on a rise just outside the village where the court carries out executions. That one hit them hard because of Rebecca Nurse. August is worse. They bring in George Burroughs, first man.
Man-witch.
He is a former minister of Salem Village, and he stands trial. On August 19th, he is taken to be hung on the scaffold. Before the cart is pulled, he recites the Lord's Prayer perfectly, but people believed that witches could not do this. So doubt of what they're doing hits the crowd. But when someone yells, the devil can imitate godly things, like basically heckling the hanging.
I like how they're just switching up the rules. Like like, well, they can't do that. Well, it could be the devil. It
was literally wild.
What a scary world to live in.
The jails were like just filled with people. It was over 200 people who were accused of
witches
being witches. And so they were just trying to run through the trials so that they could like get them to the gallows. Mm-hmm. And like 9 times out of 10, if you admitted to being a witch, you actually got off. But like they're also in jail, so they don't understand like how these things are happening. Mm-hmm. And so they're like, well, I'm not a witch. Like I'm clearly not. So like, yeah, like it was an insane time,
Mm-hmm.
And so then like they're trying these different tactics. Like I said, like with George, he's trying to say, listen, like I can do the full Lord's Prayer, but now they're like, well, no, the devil's just gotten stronger, so you're just a really powerful witch, and we gotta get rid of you now.
Mm-hmm.
So George is hung. John Proctor, he makes the massive mistake of telling everybody that they're basically idiots and that this is mass hysteria and this whole thing has just gone way too far. He is accused and hung.
Of course.
Yeah. And then there is Giles Corey. He's 81 and accused of being a witch, but he refuses to plea. So he won't say yes or no. And so the other thing is like, if you plead not guilty, you're basically dead. But if you plead guilty and apologize, the village will still take your town and you're like cast off into like extreme poverty. So it's not a winning situation for either.
Mm-hmm.
So Giles knows this, and he knows that if he doesn't enter a plea, the court cannot try him, and his property, he figures he's going to die, will pass to his family instead of being seized by the village.
Mm-hmm.
So they decide to press him, and literally press him. He is laid on the ground with a board on his chest where stones are slowly added one after another while they demand a plea. So he's slowly being crushed to death. That means his ribs are breaking and puncturing organs. That
was one of the ones I read, and I was just like, ugh.
He won't give in, though, and every time they try and get an answer out of him, he just says, more weight. He dies on September 19th rather than speak a word that would let the court take his land. 3 days later, in one of the most horrifying massive hangings in this whole story, 8 people are hung in the morning. After that mass hanging on September 22nd, the air in Salem changes. It's described as just hollow because fields are dying because half the town is in court or in jail. Families are broke from paying the jail fees because they have to pay for their family members' food. And suddenly people are literally going mute because they're scared, because anything that they say that pisses somebody off, they could be accused.
Mm-hmm.
So then 2 things happen that kind of like crack this whole thing open. Originally, the accusations were just against people that were like lower on the social ladder, but they start running out of people, so they got to start climbing up the social ladder. And now it's like respectable people, which obviously now they care. They're like, wait, let's like slow down these trials.
They're like, maybe it is the mass hysteria.
Yeah. So the governor, Phipps, the one that created the new court, he hears that someone has even dared to name his wife as a witch. So now all of a sudden he's got a problem with this whole thing. And then the second part is a big church voice steps in, which is Reverend Increase Mather. And he is like a major Puritan celebrity. And I imagine like Phipps is probably like man crush. But I also read he's like, I'm going to tell you what he did, but I've also read that he's a really, really bad guy. So like, let's not give him too much credit for this. Okay. So he basically says that it's better that 10 suspected witches go free than 1 innocent person be condemned, which like, this would be like, insert your favorite celebrity saying like, this ain't cool, guys. And Phipps is like, was done then. Like, I'll do whatever you say. So now Governor Phipps is like, yep, Rev, totally agree. This is wild and needs to be shut down. So on October 29th, 1692, he dissolves the Court of Oyer and Terminer and says, new court, new rules. Key change, there's no more spectral evidence. So you can't just say, like, somebody came to me in a dream. Which means if you can't bring something you can touch, see, or swear to in the real world, it's not coming in. We're not accepting it. And just like that, the girls are like, shit. So by 1693, they are trying some of the remaining cases, because remember, they got to work through all the people that are still in jail. under the new courts and the new law. But without their, like, her ghost is pinching me as Exhibit A, everything starts, like, getting real hesitant. Juries are saying this isn't adding up. Judges hesitate to send people to the gallows. Confessions dry up because a lot of them are made under duress. And so by spring, the panic is over, but the damage is not. So in just 15 months, there are, like I said before, over 200 people were accused of witchcraft. 19 people were hung. 14 were women. 5 were men. 1 was pressed to death. There's also probably so many undocumented tortures and deaths that we don't even know of because people were dying in jail while they were waiting for their trial. Also, 2 dogs were killed. Yeah, they were accused of being witches too.
Really?
Yeah. It was nuts, Tayler. Like,
what a time.
Yeah. So,
like, all you have to do is just start contorting. They're like, something's going on.
Yeah.
You disagree with me, I start contorting.
Literally, and I'm like a really twitchy person, so.
Really, she's contorting.
So the other thing is, like, this destroys the community because families are left with debts. They have ruined land. Kids are orphaned. And there's also just a stain on the community from all of the deaths and the killings that weren't deserved. Then we gotta check in on who our main characters were. So Reverend Paris, he tries to sermon his way out of responsibility for starting this whole thing. But I
imagine him as that meme of Homer Simpson going into the bush.
Yeah. Exactly.
He's like this blue whale of proportion.
He's like, listen, I told you there were devils here. You guys took it to another level.
You guys took it too far.
But the village was like, you're not talking your way out of this one. And they push him out. The Porters are vindicated, being like, we freaking told you guys that this dude was nuts. Abigail Williams disappears from record. Rumors say that she left Salem entirely and just went into hiding. Betty Paris grows up. She moves on and just like, she's like, oh, I don't talk about that whole thing. Ann Putnam Jr., she was the 12-year-old related to that was the daughter of the Putnams. She, in 1706, stands in church and publicly apologizes, saying that she was misled and that she recognizes that her accusations cost innocent lives. But the court doesn't exactly sprint to make this right for any of the families impacted. It takes until 1711 for the colony to formally overturn many convictions and grant financial restitution to families. Not all names get cleared at once. Some take literal centuries to be officially exonerated. Which is weird that they were like so thorough in exonerating these accused, but not really thorough in like killing them.
Yeah.
Which maybe I shouldn't be shocked by that, but like, come on.
Yeah.
Massachusetts as a state doesn't issue a formal apology until 1957.
Damn.
And I will say that I use formal apology lightly. They said that, in their statement, they said, the General Court of Massachusetts declares its belief that such proceedings, even if lawful under the province charter and the law of Massachusetts, as it then was, were and are shocking, and the result of a wave of popular hysterical fear of the devil in the community. So basically they're saying like, listen, it was legal at the time, but we don't support it.
Yeah,
so they're not.
Like it sounds more like a statement than like, I apologize on behalf of all these morons.
Yeah. Boo, boo, boo. So was it witchcraft? No. This was fear. There were power struggles, fear of change, and a louder voice that played into the fear and paranoia. All it took was a human voice saying, if you're scared, point. If you're angry, accuse. And if the evidence is thin, lean in harder. And that is the trials of the Salem witches.
Nice. I mean, not nice.
No, terrible.
You told it very well.
Thanks.
Yeah. I didn't really know the story. So,
really?
Yeah. I never really looked into it, but that is crazy. I am glad I wasn't alive in the 1600s.
Yeah, for many
Although
reasons.
I do believe in reincarnation, so. Crazy.
All right, well, should we take a break?
Yes. And we're back.
We're back.
So, Colleen, I'm going to tell you some of the paranormal stuff that happened after. And I'm not talking, well, some immediately after, most of it modern day. But one story that you told is Corey. Mm-hmm. And did you see this part, how he uttered the curse?
No.
Okay, so there's like supposedly a curse that he said, and he cursed Salem. So after he did this, people thought like his spirit was like seeking revenge.
As it should.
Yeah, I mean, he was crushed to death. The town sheriff, George Corwin, died suddenly a few years later of a heart attack, and later sheriffs also suffered heart-related ailments, which people attributed to the curse.
Oh, I thought the crushing.
Yeah, that might be.
Yeah.
It didn't say, but that's good theory.
He's like, how does it feel?
That's what I felt. And some stories even claim that Corey's ghost appears in the Howard Street Cemetery before tragedies strike, notably before the Great Salem Fire of 1914.
He appears because, but then he turns sideways and it just. Sorry. It's a joke, Giles. I'm sorry.
He's like, Colleen? Visitors often report at the Howard Street Cemetery that they feel like someone's standing like right behind them, like the presence of someone standing there. Shadowy figures have been seen described as gliding between tombstones. Don't like that.
No.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the hauntings in the modern times. Starting with the witch house, owned by Jonathan Corwin. And just a fun fact, the witch house is the only structure still standing that was directly tied to the witch trials, which that's an old ass structure.
Yeah.
That is crazy. That would be kind of cool to see. I mean, like the building.
Yeah.
The history is a little rough, but. So we have a quote from a visitor at the witch house. They said, as soon as we stepped into the main house, I was struck with an off feeling. I was slightly dizzy. It felt like the air pressure in the house had tripled, and it was like my head was in a vice, as if somebody was squeezing my temples. My husband and everyone else seemed unaffected by it, so only they were affected.
Only the women?
I think so. It doesn't say she, but I'm assuming.
Oh.
The visitor says they entered the house for like a regular tour at an early moment inside. Oh, wait. I'm repeating what I just wrote. So when they described the head in the vice sensation, I kind of wanted to write about what that was because I didn't really understand that. The head in the vice?
Vice.
Head in a vice?
Yeah.
Wait. Okay. I need to delete that too. I didn't know what that was.
A vice?
What is a vice?
It's like, well, I'm sure they have different kinds, but a vice is like, it's like a squeezing thing. Like it would be like a helmet that they would put around, but they would like squeeze.
Ew, I don't like that.
Yeah, it's like a torture device.
Okay. Actually, leave that in because I mean, I didn't know that. There has to be some other.
You want me to hold on? Let me Google a picture of it and show you real quick.
Okay. Oh, that's a vice?
Well, I think that's like.
I guess maybe that's just the sensation.
Yeah, maybe I mean, like, this is probably a better picture.
Like that.
Yeah.
He looks not happy.
But yeah, it's a torture device.
So in a haunting or paranormal setting, it's often described as a sign of heavy or oppressive energy, possibly from a spirit, a physical reaction to fear or spiritual presence felt by sensitive individuals, or from a scientific view, a result of things like high EMF, poor air quality, or psychological suggestion that causes real physical tension. I think it's the spirit.
Yeah.
You looked like you were going to say, like,
well,
yeah. The scientific way.
No. I was just going to say, like, do you ever get that, like, I feel like I get this way when I get stressed and it feels like a headache coming on.
Like a tension headache?
Yeah, but it's like, it feels like my temples are being like, it's like my brain can't think fast enough to keep up with like what I like, or my body can't keep up fast enough to do like what I know I need to do. And like, I don't know, maybe like
I
it
feel
used
like
to happen.
Maybe that's a big brain thing.
She's
just smart.
No, but like it would happen a lot at work when I knew I was under like literally like a time crunch, and I would be like, I have like all of this stuff I have to get done in 45 minutes. And I kind of know what you're saying. Yeah. Sorry, I was trying to be relatable, not make it about me.
No, it makes sense. And I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Okay.
So the house's history may, like the accusations, the torture, the death, all that stuff, contribute to what paranormal investigators call residual energy or an emotional imprint. So that's why, I mean, I kind of think it's like a spirit thing walking in, because you feel that pressure. I mean, that's a lot of dark energy. Obviously, you just told the story. Those people went through hell.
Yeah. And like we talked about like going into Jared's and it being so positive. So like, I feel like there's no possible way with all of that negativity and like all of those hurt souls that there isn't negative energy out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, definitely. So some other visitors report hearing disembodied voices in the east parlor, a specific room in the house, where preliminary examinations of accused witches reportedly occurred. The east parlor, being singled out repeatedly, may point to a localized hotspot of energy. One staff member claimed looking into the east parlor after closing, they saw what appeared to be several people in Puritan attire, but refused to remain alone in the house thereafter. Don't blame them. Scary. Other things people see, just like orbs in visitor pictures, cold spots in specific rooms, objects dropping or moving unexpectedly, typical ghost behavior. Okay. So next, let's talk about Gallows Hill, so what I read is they were actually executed in Proctor's Ledge. Did you read that too?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Gallows Hill.
They're really close by, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to say that just in case to be like accurate, but very close by. So back then, the hill overlooked a broad, marshy valley. Villagers could see the hangings from the road below. The 19 men and women were brought there, bound, prayed over, hanged from their rough-hewn beams. That wasn't so hard to say. Jutting from the trees or gallows frame. Their bodies were left until nightfall, then quietly taken down, buried in shallow, unmarked ground. For centuries, locals avoided the hill after dusk. Today, Gallows Hill Park and the Proctor's Ledge Memorial occupy the same slope, peaceful by day, but said to come alive at night. And they actually, I don't know if they wrote this in here, and I might repeat myself later, but they did put like a memorial in 2017 for the people.
Oh.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, like a memorial is good, but I think there's probably more that they do.
Yeah. And I mean, there might be.
Yeah.
That's just one thing that stood out to me. I was like, oh. So apparitions that appear in this area, the lady in white, and like you and I have said before, there seem to be a lot of ladies in white. Mm-hmm. So one of the most reported spirits is the lady in white, seen drifting along the tree line at dusk. Witnesses describe her as faint, luminous figure in long colonial-style dress, gliding rather than walking. The gliding once again. Sometimes she appears motionless near the memorial stones, hands clasped as if praying. Other times she moves through the trees, dissolving when approached. Paranormal tour guides speculate she may represent one of the executed women, perhaps Sarah Good or Rebecca Nurse, still lingering near the place of her death. Visitors on night tours have captured misty, human-shaped forms in photographs where nothing was visible to the eye.
Oh, I think I remember isn't a woman in white somebody who like lost a child? Isn't that what it was in the graveyard one you did?
Oh, I think she was looking for her child, I
Because
think.
Sarah Good was pregnant when she was in jail, and I'm so sorry. I had that in my story, and I think I didn't mention it, but her child died while she was in jail. She gave birth to her kid, and she died while she was in jail.
I do remember you saying she was pregnant. Yeah. But yeah. No, that's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Well, I was just guessing. Well, I mean, it's just obviously I don't know this ghost.
Theory.
Yeah. So
it's a good theory. So, voices in the woods. After midnight, Gallows Hills forest edge is said to fill with disembodied cries and whispers. Some hear faint chanting. Don't know why the chanting. Or moaning carried on the wind. Others describe sharp single screams that echo once and vanish. A few have reported the sound of rope creaking or wooden beams shifting, which is so unsettling.
Yeah.
As if the gallows still swayed above them. Travel blogger Tatted Nomad recounts standing near the memorial when a low wail, human but distant, moved across the trees like fog, though no one else in their group reacted. Creepy?
Don't like that.
Ghost hunters visiting the site often capture strange orbs and shadowy outlines on film. Some appear in the shapes of people. Others dart among the branches. And like we said, we don't know how we feel about orbs. They could be specks of dust. Yeah. But they get a lot of those there. Visitors frequently describe a sudden drop in temperature and overwhelming heaviness, sadness, nausea, or pressure on the chest, especially when standing near certain stones in the memorial. Many say the sensation lifts instantly once they step back toward the road, which that's crazy. That would be a crazy sensation to be feeling that. And then once you get off of it, you're like, ah.
Yeah.
Guides from ghost tours say it's common for guests to start crying without understanding why. People burst into tears upon entering the area, one guide said. They feel sorrow that doesn't belong to them. Which is so sad.
Yeah. Again, I think there's just a lot of sadness there.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I couldn't even imagine like being alive in that time and like your sister or someone being accused and you're like, what? No.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
Locals and sensitives claim the woods surrounding Gallows Hill are charged, which, yeah, not with evil, but with residual emotion from the hysteria and injustice of 1692. Tour companies sometimes avoid holding events there after dark out of respect. The energy, they say, isn't violent, but deeply mournful, like an echo that never stopped reverberating. Today, Gallows Hill Park is open for hiking, overlooks the harbor, while Proctor's Ledge Memorial, okay, that's what it is, Proctor's Ledge Memorial, dedicated in 2017, is a quiet half circle of granite inscribed with victims' names. Visitors report in this area, cameras freezing or draining batteries, sudden cold breezes on still nights, feeling watched while standing alone, an inexplicable urge to cry or leave quickly, which we pretty much just covered. And I feel like those feelings are probably everywhere.
Yeah, I bet.
So over the centuries, the idea of the Salem witch also transformed dramatically. The people accused in 1692 were innocent victims of fear and superstition, but modern witchcraft in Salem has turned that legacy into one of empowerment and healing. By the 20th century, modern pagans and Wiccans began reclaiming the word witch, grounding it in nature-based spirituality and personal power rather than evil, which I love.
I love that.
Salem evolved into both a site of remembrance and thriving spiritual community where modern witches gather for festivals, rituals, and public celebrations of Samhain. Did I say that right? Samhain? I think I did. Okay. I'm going to say I did. The same streets that once condemned witches now host dozens of witch shops, psychic readers, and covens. Today, Salem's identity blends its grim history with living folklore and spirituality. The curse of Giles Corey represents the lingering guilt of injustice, while the modern witch community transforms that sorrow into empowerment. Together, they reflect how Salem has turned its painful past into a living mythology, one that bridges the supernatural, the historical, and the deeply human desire to find meaning and magic oh my God, not the last sentence, in what once was tragedy. And that's it. So yeah, I feel like you would expect really crazy, scary hauntings and stuff like that, but it's not like that.
Yeah.
It's more just like sad energy. Nobody's being strangled at night. No one's being thrown around or slapped. But yeah, super random. But, you know, I love reels on Instagram, and this girl keeps popping up on there. And I think her name is like Sarah in Salem or Savannah in Salem or something like that. It's this girl that moved to Salem, and she just moved there randomly. Like, she quit her job and she's like, I just feel pulled to Salem. And it keeps popping up on my algorithm, and it looks so cool there. And especially because it's in the middle of October, and like they just said they have all those festivals.
Yeah.
Like, I want to visit there one day.
See, I would go there.
We should go.
Okay.
Group trip.
Yep. I was going to say, I feel bad saying I was unimpressed by the memorial, because I was like, this was so dark, and like dangerous for people, and like they were scared and they were acting out of fear, but like it was bad. And so it was, when you were like the memorial, and I'm like, oh, they could do more. Like,
yeah, like that's it.
Yeah.
I know. I feel like it's probably just because I don't know what else they could.
Well, I love that they're taking the power back. You know what I mean? Like, it's a super sad story. Like, I know we cover like true crime and stuff like that, but I don't know why this one hits me harder for some reason.
I think because it was just so like stupid. Like, to be like, I saw you in a dream, you're dead. Yeah. And like, that's like, it's not a story. That's like that really happened. Yeah. And that's scary that like it could just take one person in power to be like, kill them all. Yeah. And everyone's like, okay.
I mean, yeah, we could go down a whole road of that conversation, but
yeah, not that it doesn't happen today. Yeah. But I think in the 1600s, it's probably just like, yeah. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything else about that. But anyway, I feel like that wraps up our story of the Salem Witch Trial.
Yep. We've got some more cool stories. Well, we've got plenty of them, not just in spooky season, but we've got some extra spooky more. Extra spooky more
coming your way.
Yep, exactly. Meant to say it that way.
But as always, I think we forgot to say this the last couple times, but please review and rate us.
Yes, please review.
We need more rates.
Follow us on Instagram. Please also follow us like on the streaming platforms wherever you listen: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon.
We're on pretty much all of them.
Yep. So,
or you can email us at
igsttystories@gmail.com.
That too. But anyway, thank you guys for listening.
Later.